Here are some of the materials that you're going to need to make this chicken water. The first, you're going to need your little giant game bird fountain, and I said it can feed up to 75 birds, but I'm stand corrected. This will water up to 175 birds. I got this from Jeffers. Now they have a chick one and they have an adult bird one. Make sure you buy the adult bird one. It's got a bigger bowl on it. Of course, you're going to need some pipe. This is just 1/2 inch PVC pipe. You're going to need a bucket and a lid. That lid needs to be cleaned off. It was from a bucket in the backyard. Some silicone, hole saw. I've got 2 different style bits to go with the hole saw. I personally use a PVC pipe cutter. It's much easier, and I'll show you how. You're gonna need some purple primer or a primer, PVC primer, and an all-purpose cement. That's for PVC also. One of the key things that I use is this bulkhead. It's a little bit more expensive. They're all kind of rain barrel attachments that you can put into this bucket. I like these. They're a little bit more expensive. They're $16, and I got this one at Lowe's. This is a 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch, and if you can tell, there is a part number, a threaded union fitting, Purline, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. But I like using those. Here's several different types of couplers. This is a coupler with a threaded end. Here's a different kind of 1/2 inch coupler with a threaded end. Here's just a plain coupler made to where you join 2 pieces of PVC together. Here's a 90. One has a threaded end, one doesn't. And here's a plain 90 coupler without any threading. So they're all different kinds of things that you can use as far as your fittings. You're going to have to decide what you need as to where your pipe goes. This isn't actually a gas valve. It's just something that I had on hand so I could do a video for this. I'm going to use it. It's the same size, but I like using a PVC plastic ball valve. That's essentially what this is. It's just a ball valve, but it's normally used for gas. I use a pipe cutter in lieu of a hacksaw or some kind of power saw because it's quick and easy and I can get right on the line I need to cut. These are very sharp, by the way. So you're going to find them like this. You just extend it. The blade's going to drop down. I'll kind of work it up a little bit. You just put it in there wherever you need it. And you're going to ratchet it. It doesn't take much strength at all. And it cuts a perfect cut. And that's why I like using these. Where the wise, always close them and secure them so you're not digging around in the toolbox and cut yourself like my son did because they weren't in a closed position. The first step I take in making these waters is I use the hole saw and I cut a hole in the bucket for the bulkhead. I'm going to use a 1 3/4 inch hole saw. And so basically I'm just going to pick a spot that I want. I want it closer to the bottom. Then I'll just take a knife or something or a piece of sandpaper and clean up the hole. The way this works is it has a gasket. You can see it's fitted for the gasket on this side. What I'll do is I'll lift this gasket. I'll put some silicone or RTV. I'll push the gasket back down. I'll put some more silicone on the top of the gasket. I'll put it on both sides of this plastic washer. This goes on the outside. Now that we have the bulkhead put in the bucket installed, we've put some extra gasket maker or silicone on the inside and the outside because this is a flat surface This is a round surface, so we just want to make sure we fill the holes to make sure it doesn't leak. We did it on the inside and the outside. We're going to take one of these threaded couplings that's going to be glued into that. That way that can screw into that, and it'll be extension so we can install our valve. Okay, so I'm going to take our PVC primer and we're going to prime the inside of the joint and the outside of that joint. All right, we're going to take our glue and do the same thing with our glue, and we're going to push it all the way down to the bottom. Threaded coupler on, so it's just going to go on this side, and then this will screw into that. And then all we have to do screw that in. Then you're going to have a fitting that goes, a threaded fitting, a male end that goes in there. The water itself, the way it's going to fit into the pipe, I'm going to open it up here. This is the way it comes. You have your bowl and you have your valve. So one end of the valve is threaded, and you see the bowl's threaded. So basically this valve is going to go down into the bowl, like so. I'm not going to thread it down all the way. Remember, this is plastic. You don't want to over tighten this brass fitting into this, or it will strip it out. All right, so this end, you have a washer and a screen. I don't know if you can see that screen very well. One tip I'm going to give you, though, the only downfall to these waterers that I have found is if you don't put in just hot glue or with your silicone, glue a screen in over that opening, you're going to get dirt in here. Okay, and that dirt's going to go through the pipe and through the valve and down and into the pipe that sits onto here. That screen is going to collect any debris, dirt, leaves that goes down that pipe. This gets clogged up, which I check mine about once a month. If this gets clogged up, then no water will go through to this. One of the questions I had was, how do you attach this to the bucket? Well, the pipe that I just made, you can either run it down, you're going to run it to the side, you're going to run it catty corner, however you need to run your pipe. But this pipe that runs to this needs to be straight, because this is going to hang straight. So you take one of these threaded couplers, a 1/2 inch threaded coupler, and that's what's going to screw into this. So you're going to take your pipe, and voila, there you go. So here's an example. These aren't glued together, but I'm just showing you. I need another fitting. But this is an example of how you can rig your bucket.